When you hear the words totalitarianism, totalitarian regime, dictatorship, what images do you see in your mind's eye? What do these words mean to you? Perhaps images of great suffering, destruction, death due to starvation of late 1930s, early 1940s, of Nazis who killed over 25 million people, of USSR and other communist regimes, which killed more than 100 million people. However cruel these periods in recent history, these were but visible manifestations of what was brewing below the surface of these societies for many years earlier. Millions of people who stood by passively, and through their passivity allowing these atrocities to continue. And let's not forget how long it took to convince public opinion there really are millions of people dying. Reality of these atrocities was brought to public attention only years after these regimes managed to put to death millions of people. Fast forward to the 21st century, with technologies available currently, how would you know you live in a dictatorship, totalitarian regime? What signs would you look for, and how many such signs would you have to see to conclude affirmatively? And most importantly, what would you do once you found out? How does a dictatorship, totalitarian regime look and feel like? Would you consider as a dictatorship, totalitarian regime, a society which turned upside down the most important international laws, those enshrined in the UN Declaration of Human Rights, the European Convention on Human Rights, as well as constitutions of most countries of this planet? Would the following constitute enough warning signs for you to realize that you are living in a dictatorship, totalitarian regime? Performing medical scientific experimentation without consent, including medical procedures without consent. Lack of respect for private and family life, including arbitrary and unlawful interference with privacy, family, home and correspondence. Denial of fair trial, denial of effective remedy, denial of self-determination, denial of freedom of thought, conscience and religion, deprivation of property, denial of free choice of employment, deprivation of means of subsistence. These in effect translate to torture, inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment, and deprivation of life. And when such are done on a mass scale, that is called genocide. Laws prohibiting all of the above are enshrined in the UN Declaration of Human Rights, the European Convention on Human Rights, and most importantly in constitutions of most countries of this planet. Regimes whose acts and policies result in doing what these laws explicitly prohibit are in effect dictatorships, totalitarian regimes. Would being aware of such crimes being committed in countries, communities where you live constitute enough of a warning sign? Since year 2014, living in 21st century Europe, I experienced firsthand all of these, including medical scientific experimentation performed on me without my consent, multiple unlawful interferences with my private life and correspondence, multiple denials of fair trial and effective remedy, multiple denials of legal counsel, multiple denials of free choice of employment, deprivation of my property, deprivation of means of subsistence, denial of self-determination. Medical scientific experimentation performed on me without my consent, result of which is serious and permanent injury to my body, including most intimate parts of my body. To this day, multiple puncture wounds are visible on my left groin, and directly related to them damage of the genital, urinary and nervous systems. 9 reports from 8 different medical professionals corroborate all of the physical symptoms: computer tomography, magnetic resonance imaging including nerve MRI, optical coherence tomography, 3 ultrasound tests including nerve ultrasound, and physical examinations performed by specialist physicians, including world-renowned specialists in examination of the nervous system. Observed injuries are iatrogenic, which can only take place in the case of a failed medical procedure. However, I was never in jail, I was never in hospital, and these events took place 3 months into a new 2-year business contract at the start of year 2014 in flat, which I was renting at that time. Multiple unlawful interferences with my private life and correspondence, including removing and/or editing documents in court and prosecution cases I initiated, Most recently, package with documents addressed to the European Court of Human Rights was opened and documents which I included removed from that package, preventing me from obtaining comprehensive medical diagnosis due to multiple misdiagnoses and refusals to conduct medical examinations. I was only able to conduct the proper medical examinations and establish comprehensive diagnosis after nearly 4 years by traveling to countries hundreds and thousands kilometers away from Poland, including Austria, Serbia, and India. Refusals to conduct examinations and medical legal opinions took place in over 20 different cases. Misdiagnosis took place in at least 5 cases. In addition, spreading false information about myself and these events. Multiple denials of fair trials and effective remedy. So far, all of the court and prosecution cases I initiated in regards to these events were quashed through inter alia, removing and or editing court prosecution documents I filed, reclassifying notifications of a crime I filed and denying prosecution, issuing decisions based on articles from Wikipedia without appointing medical legal expert. For example, one of the decisions refusing to initiate an investigation was issued based on a Wikipedia article which law enforcement attached to the case files, claiming that the sudden and permanent bodily injuries which occurred overnight, including damage to the genital, urinary and nervous systems, directly connected to the multiple puncture wounds in the left groin, were caused by the candidiasis of the digestive system. In other words, law enforcement authorities covered up a violent attack on me which caused permanent bodily injuries, including damage to the most intimate parts of my body, by claiming that a fungus which develops in the digestive system somehow overnight caused multiple puncture wounds in left groin area of my body and damaged urinary, genital and nervous systems. Denying existence of new and significant evidence, including 9 reports from 8 different medical professionals corroborating all of the physical symptoms and clearly stating that the observed injuries are iatrogenic. Communications from that time period secured by IT forensics specialists, including threats I received few days before these events. May you never have any offspring. Fulfilled as a result of what happened. That is, permanent damage to the most intimate parts of my body. The cover-up of violent crime lasts 5 years already. Law enforcement authorities continue to play deny game, at the same time committing numerous gross violations of procedural obligations and omissions. Multiple denials of free choice of employment and means of subsistence, through interference with electronic communication, attacks on my honor and reputation, as well as outright sabotage of contacts with business prospects through gang stalking and intimidation. I work in information technology since 1998. I work with companies from the US, UK and EU, well before and after I moved back to Poland from the USA in year 2003. I worked remotely even before these events, which resulted in permanent bodily injuries. Since 2014, on each and every occasion when I initiated business contact or applied for jobs where my experience closely or exactly matched requirements, after passing all stages of interviews, including technical interviews, at contract signing stage, projects were suddenly quashed through intimidation, gang stalking of my business prospects, attacks on my honor and reputation. Each time after such act, I am contacted by a recruitment, quote, company, very often the same company but different persons, quote, offering me position which inter alia is requiring me to relocate or work on site full-time, which considering my injuries is not possible and most importantly is not how I work since the very beginning of my work in IT. Or is completely different in terms of technologies I work with and in result would require me to work at far less of what market rate is for my experience with technologies I actually do work with. This pattern repeats over and over, resulted in multiple denials of choice of employment, closely resembles gang stalking and or forced labor, and in effect is depriving me of means of subsistence. On a scale 1 through 10, how important would you rank the ability to promptly and properly diagnose damage to multiple systems of your body, including most intimate parts of your body, find out exactly what took place, efficiently prosecute such crime, and be able to fully restore your body? What would you do if you found out that a medical procedure experiment was performed on you without your consent, and for 5+ years you were refused on tens of different occasions to know, to exercise your rights, and to fully restore your body so you can live productively, at the same time being deprived of your property and means of subsistence? In the so-called post-Snowden, post-Assange era, awareness of mass surveillance may be nothing new to you. But what if you found out that these same technologies, which were officially sold to the public as ways to prevent terrorism, are being used in the exact opposite way, to cover up crimes, including medical scientific experimentation without consent, to deny your right to live, including preventing you from diagnosing your health condition, to deny your free choice of employment and means of subsistence, to prevent you from freely associating and cooperating with people who share your interests? Wouldn't an almost perfect invisible dictatorship, totalitarian regime be one where grievous crimes are taking place, but awareness of such is kept away from you, and most importantly, even when you found out, you were systematically prevented from doing anything to stop such and to fix the destruction which these caused? In a dictatorship, totalitarian regime, anyone who is considered a threat to organized crime cartels running such regimes can be marked as a threat or even a terrorist. So just in case if you're wondering, I have never committed any criminal offense nor spent any time in jail. My criminal record is completely clear. I've never been admitted to any hospital. The events of January 2014, which resulted in these permanent bodily injuries, took place in a flat I rented at that time. These events took place less than 3 months after the start of a 2-year business contract, which I had to terminate immediately. I spent tens of thousands of euros for medical, legal and travel costs, and years of extra time and energy to investigate and document these events. The cost of nerve restoration surgery alone is 17,000 euro. The cost of fully restoring all of the functions of genitourinary is even larger, if at all possible. Due to injuries which still need to be repaired, I can only work from home with occasional meetings on site. My electronic communication is being interfered with. False information is spread about these events, me and my work, which results in losses and literally inability to earn my living. More information can be found at the following websites. Corroborating documentation to download is available at not.surgery/documentation, documenting facts mentioned in the short presentation, including medical, legal, communications, travel, etc. Chronology of events is available at not.surgery/chronology from year 2013 to the present day. If you're aware enough to know that these same tactics can be used against you to destroy your life, to kill you, and you do realize how difficult it is to bring such information to public attention, and even more so to stop acts of such regimes, which are nothing but organized crime cartels posing as authorities, you can help in many different ways. For example, by sharing this presentation as well as information published at not.surgery, by donating for medical and legal costs. To donate via cryptocurrencies, please see not.surgery/help for a list of cryptocurrency addresses. To donate via PayPal, please send to the contact at not.surgery address. By funding the writing and publishing of book based on documentation I collected and my experiences over these 5+ years, which will bring greater awareness about this dark period of 21st century, please see not.surgery/help for book fundraising details. By hiring me, purchasing IT services or products I offer, please see ideas.into.software and ideas.into.software/low-cost-tools for list of services and products I offer, and ways to purchase these via OpenBazaar, Fiverr, People Per Hour, Guru or Freelancer, or go directly to my OpenBazaar store via openbazaar.into.software. This redirects to my OpenBazaar store. Thank you.